Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your one channel for everything VR related. Today, we're going over some amazing stories, including some new standalone VR headsets that will be competitors to the Oculus Quest. We have new game releases to go over, Pavlov just received a huge World War II update that includes tanks, and Doom 3 is now playable on the Oculus Quest. So let's not waste any more time guys and jump right into this. So let's start this video off with the announcement of an announcement. The Twitter page for the VR title Gorn recently let us know that they should be able to give us the release date information for the Quest version of Gorn sometime this week. So basically what this means is Gorn is coming pretty soon to the Oculus Quest. If you're not familiar with Gorn, it's a really quirky and brutally violent arena fighting game. Overall, it's an extremely fun and hilarious title that's perfectly suited for the Oculus Quest. Speaking of the Oculus Quest, the title Mare has just recently released. This is a third-person action and adventure title where you'll navigate through mysterious ancient ruins. You play across 8 levels controlling a mechanical bird that will help to assist a young girl. I'm yet to experience this myself, but the general feedback is the game is absolutely gorgeous, but the puzzles are fairly simplistic and the gameplay length is around 2 to 3 hours. A Rift version of this game will be available in the near future. Now another puzzle-based VR game also released last week, this one available on Steam. Machizzle is a physics-based puzzle game where you'll try to guide a ball to the end of a course using a series of different tools. It's similar to Gadgeteer or Gravity Lab, but it looks to kick things up a notch with a series of different power-ups. I just started playing this myself, so it's a little bit too early to give any feedback, but if you are curious, come ask me about it during Wednesday's live stream. Okay, so next up we have some more amazing work from Dr. Beef. This is the modder who's been taking classic first-person shooter games such as Half-Life, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and now Doom 3, and making them playable on the Oculus Quest. Doom 3 released back in 2004, but just like the original Half-Life and Return to Castle Wolfenstein, these were amazing first-person shooters, and when they're played in VR, you can argue that they're better than the first-person shooters being made for VR right now. Now you will need to own the original Doom 3 title, but don't worry, it's only $4.99 on Steam, and there's also a couple of steps to the installation, but if you used SideQuest in the past, you shouldn't run into any issues. I'm going to include a link to my friend Gamertag VR's video, where he shows off the game, the installation process, and talks about some of the settings you can tweak. So go ahead, play this on your Oculus Quest, then come back and let me know what you like better, Doom 3, Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, or Warhammer 40k Battle Sister. Now while we're talking about excellent VR shooters, we have to mention the Pavlov World War II update. For starters, it was just nice to be able to play a World War II themed multiplayer game with populated servers. So we now have 18 new World War II themed weapons, divided into 3 different categories: Axis, Allies, and Soviets. There's also 6 different grenade variants and 3 different rocket launchers. But even better, we now get to control some tanks. Now when you're in a tank, you really can't hear or see anything, but it's still an awesome experience. There's also new World War II models to go along with the guns. The new World War II mode is playable in both Team Deathmatch and Gun Game, but if you're really not interested in the World War II aspect, Pavlov has received some other updates. There are now 2 new Search and Destroy maps, and 2 have been remastered. There's also been a full user interface update, and there's now built-in B-haptic support. There's a reason why, even in beta, Pavlov remains the most popular VR shooter. Updates like this, the fantastic mod support, and just those overall streamlined in-game mechanics leave you with an undeniably great product. Okay, so let's move on to some upcoming VR titles, starting with Battlescar. This is an animated VR experience narrated by Rosario Dawson. It will be available this week on January 14th for the Oculus Quest and Rift platform, with a Steam release coming at a later date. Now this is a punk rock themed coming of age immersive film set in New York City during the 1970s. So if you were a fan of other virtual experiences, such as the ones done by Baobab Studios, but you ultimately wanted a little bit more mature of a theme, this might be the right title for you. So next up, we got some new gameplay footage for the upcoming PlayStation VR title Hitman 3. If you were unaware, the original Hitman 3 trilogy is coming to the PlayStation VR and will be playable via the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. Now unfortunately, we've been told that there is no motion controller support, but they are using tracking on the DualShock controller. This is why the gameplay footage gives the illusion of tracking the player's hand. This is an interesting controller hybrid scheme that I'm curious to see how it works. I've personally never played through any of the Hitman series, so I'm definitely planning to pick this up at release and give you guys my feedback. Okay, so our last game topic, before moving into that awesome new hardware, is on information for a sequel to Thrill of the Fight. Now, the game is still fairly early in development and might not even have a 2021 release date, but we do know one major new feature is coming, and that's multiplayer. This was easily the most requested feature missing from Thrill of the Fight, and it will be included day one in their sequel. They're also going to give us some character customization. Besides that, we don't have any additional information right now. Okay guys, let's jump into that new headset information. So the first one comes from Nolo VR. Now this is an ODM solution, or original design manufacturing, and it's intended for other companies to take this design and rebrand it into their own product. It is a fully standalone headset with 6 degrees of freedom, featuring an ultrasonic controller-based tracking solution in combination with a 2-camera SLAM solution. The controllers look nearly identical to Oculus Quest controllers, and besides that, we have no other information. Now the ODM solution does leave some room for customization, and overall it's a great starting point for other companies that want to jump into standalone VR. I'm just really hoping their tracking solution is on par with the Oculus Quest. Now our second headset comes from Movision Tech. A video popped up recently on Twitter and it looked almost identical to an original Quest, just with a battery pack on the back. And now luckily this time, we also got an image featuring all the specs for the headset. Now I went to 2 of my friends who are fluent in Chinese, just to make sure I was translating this correctly, and this is what we have. It's currently showing the full processor name, but if you look it up, that is indeed the Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2. It features 8GB of DDR5 RAM and 128GB of storage. The field of view is 96 degrees. This is a full 4K display featuring 2 2160 by 2160 LCD panels. It's a 4-camera, 6 degree of freedom system. The optics are a Fresnel lens. The gyroscopes are a super high accuracy IMU with a report rate of 1000 Hz. It features a self-developed SLAM system. And the big question mark here is, what the heck is that 200 number? Well, unfortunately, both translations I got do not really help. One translation was the field of vision with handle, and the other was handle viewing range 200. If I had to speculate, I would say this is the viewing angle using something like pass-through or attempting to use the headset in a AR mode. Now there's some additional information here that can't be read due to some heads in the way, but that 3mm number has something to do with precision. Now speaking of precision, other companies besides Facebook have failed when it comes to inside-out camera-based tracking. Overall, that is my biggest concern on these new standalone headsets. They will have an Android OS, they feature extremely similar controllers, and game compatibility should be nearly 100% right out of the box. Now, if you were hoping for a product you can buy right now and this isn't enough overall information for you, don't worry, this week is CES. The Consumer Electronics Show is unfortunately a virtual event this year, but there will be new VR tech, and we should expect to hear some additional information. HTC said they have a new headset coming this year. We're expecting to see Pico announce a consumer-based headset model, and maybe we'll get lucky and someone else will throw their hat into the ring. Okay everybody, that was today's new VR news. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on next time.